And there we go. I'm kind of getting used to this intro not freezing on me. Hey, dear me, it's Friday. We're here once again for an hour of just talking nonsense, really. That's all I plan on doing. I've got no strategy other than that, apart from, of course, a bit of the old neck oil. Cheers, everyone. That Friday feeling. There we go. Carlsberg export again this week. Seems to have become my tipple of choice of late. So how's everyone doing? Hope you've all had a tolerable week, at least. I've had a bit of an expensive week. I've had to buy a new freezer for the kitchen. So that was my task for today, getting the old one out of the kitchen and going through the freezer, the freezer and saying, right, okay, half a bag of Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire puddings that have been in there 2 years, right, we don't need those, and just generally kind of getting the new one all not plumbed in, but set up and into the requisite space under the worktops. Well, that's been my day today. Let's have a look, as is the custom, and see who was first in. Amadeus first in this week. Then Dave Fiendish and Terry Day, Rent to Kill, David James, Johnny Random, and Cylon Hybrid. Then we got Peter Nicholson, Stephen Polk, Anton, Boulder64, and Grandpa Joe. He'll be listening in today. He's not feeling very well. Well, I hope you're feeling better soon, Joe. I hope you're on the mend soon. I recommend some Highland Elixir, the water of life. It always makes me feel better. Then who else have we got? We've got Peter Collins and Fiend Tunes is there, saying, and lots of love on this Valentine's Day. It is Valentine's Day, and I've got special brownie points because I remembered. Well, I didn't actually, but moonpig.com remembered for me and sent me a reminder, so I just kind of, okay, about a week or so ago, so just tapped on the app and, ordered the card. Yes, saved my bacon. Anyway, we got Peter S. We've got Otto Geddon 1, Dr. Gomez 1, Malcolm Spillett. He's having to rush out for an hour or so, just checking in. Well, hopefully you'll make it back soon, mate. Joe McMurray is there, so is Chip Young, Sam's Budget Guitars, Marcel Konings, and Stephen Hedger, who's been setting up his Bernie Les Paul. Amazed that a quarter turn on the truss rod made the difference between a good guitar and a great guitar. It does indeed, mate. Then there's Frank Bolam, 60s man Vincent Brennan, rubbish guitar bloke and session guitar legend Gary Shaw. There's Nathan and Robert Forsyth. And who else have we got? Let's have a look. Johnny D, Paul Taylor, Austin Barrett, and John Ross. Cal B and the Rocco Cat is in the building, everyone. Then we've got Thomas Mulvaney and Colin Falcon. The Daler 22, good evening. It's been a while. It has, mate. We've missed you. Where you been? William Forrest is there, so is Brad Dowell and Dingers 63 and Andy Holmes. We've got Sir Baldwin Snarky, Shane Allen, Johnny the Essex Cat, and let's have a look. Peter Hall and Graham Campbell. Oh, and Chickashina is there, and Peter Williamson. Thank you very much, sir. That is a lovely, lovely thing to do. You have just contributed to my beer fund. What a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much. And Malcolm Spillett's back. We got Jay Young, we got Jeff Crouch, we got Steve Cassidy. Don't forget Steve's video straight after this live stream. I was watching your live on catch up this morning, mate, and I noticed you were having a few technical issues. And did you ever decide? Because I was working, putting the new freezer in actually while I had you on in the background. Do we know what your video is going to be tonight, mate? Because you hadn't decided last time I heard you speaking about it. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Straight after this live stream, go and check him out. What else we got? Who else we got, rather? We got John Mack. And there's the answer to the question. Don't mind me lurking, multitasking. Still don't have vid for tonight sorted yet. Oh, you better get your skates on, mate. And there's the lamb. The lamb is in the house, everyone. Again, talking about live streams, go and check out the lamb live on a Monday evening. It's the best thing about Monday, really, because Monday is never your favourite. I've been self-employed for more years than I care to remember, but I still get that kind of Monday feeling. Who else have we got? We've got Moon's Guitars, Anders Nyback and Guitar, and Searching for Tone is in. Again, another great channel. Go and check them out. Let's have a look. Peter Hall saying, "You old romantic John." Yes, indeed. I know how to treat a girl. Who else? Darren Myers. We've got Malcolm Spillett. "I shelled out £500 to get my car back from the police pound today. I could have bought a guitar for that." Yes. How come it was in the police pound? Did it get towed or something? We've got Pekka Olvinen. I hope that's the correct pronunciation. It probably isn't, but I do try. Ravensmead is in. I bet Dougal likes a freezer clear out. Yes. There was a couple of frozen Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire puddings that he managed to get his chops around. We've got Edwin Toon, and we've got Francis Chambers. We've got Hoog Jr. John Max saying, "You got her a new freezer for Valentine's Day." Yeah, you could say that. We got Mr. Chris is in, and so is Gary Arnold, and Andy Holmes. Thank you so much, sir. That is very, very generous of you. As our old dear departed pal Mike from China Guitar Skeptic used to say, "Never courted, always appreciated." Thank you so much, mate. And Mr. Chris's dodgy hand is getting better. Glad to hear it, mate. We got Jonah Cornish and Dallas Toto, a pal of mine from over the other side of the pond, who's thinking the wood on a solid body is of no biggie. Yeah, I'm kind of coming round to that opinion myself, actually, after being, on the fence, shall we say, but with slight leanings towards the other side of the debate. I'm starting to, basically have my mind chained by this weird little thing called evidence. Anyway, we've got Grumpy Horse, and I think that's pretty much everyone. Thank you all for turning up. As I look at my little ticker on screen now, there are 156 souls on board, and let's all just kind of sit here and have a beer and chill out on a Friday. Let's get all the rest of the housekeeping out of the way, telling you what's coming up on the channel this week. On Sunday, it is the full review of the vintage V6, the blue Strat copy that was very kindly sent to me by a chap called Jim, just as a little gift. What a generous thing. And I had some fun making the video, and you'll see the fun that I had and what I think of the guitar and what it sounds like in a mix and all that usual stuff on Sunday. Then Monday's video, solo analysis, although I am winding those videos down because they tend more than ever these days to upset the copyright wombles, and I've got a little tale to tell about that one as well, about the whole copyright thing on YouTube. But it's a band that I often shy away from doing videos about, because when you've got to do a guitar solo, you need to create a backing track, and part of that is doing the drum track. And let's just say Ginger Baker's drums are not the easiest drums to recreate in MIDI, but I think I've given it a good go this time. It's a cream solo. I'm not going to kind of play guessing games with it. It's we're doing the solo from Badge on Monday. Then on Tuesday, top 5 video as is usual, and I will admit straight away that this is a little bit of a shameless rip-off, really, from one of my favourite YouTube channels called Sea of Tranquility. great sort of music themed channel, kind of like music journalism. It's like it's like a kind of YouTube version of a fanzine, and great bunch of lads on there. Mainly Pete Pardo, the kind of patriarch of the channel. And what they've been doing lately is videos about radio hits that you don't own that song. You might not even own any material by that particular band or artist. But you know those songs that when you hear them on the radio, you just crank it up a little bit. You think, oh, yeah, I like that one. Even though, there's probably nothing else by that band that you like, or, as I say, you don't own any of their material. So on Tuesday, that's what I'm talking about. My 5 songs that when they come on the radio, I just turn it up a little bit of a notch. Then on Wednesday, yet another video in the continuing saga of my new album, based upon, of course, the treats and snacks that we give to our very spoiled dog Dougal. This week it's the token ballad on the album we're doing this week. Just a little. It didn't start off as a ballad; it just sort of evolved into that. And well, you can hear what it sounds like, and I'll go through the sort of writing process or a summarized version of it on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, here we go, Edwin Toonan. Thank you so much, sir. You're enjoying a German Franzikaner Weiss beer I got from the missus. Every day should be Valentine's Day. Good for you, mate. Hope you're enjoying it, and hope you and your missus are having a fantastic day. We're having a curry tonight, not because it's Valentine's Day, but because it's Friday. But there's sticky toffee pudding and custard in the larder for later, so that will that's I told you I know how to treat a girl. We're pushing the boat out big time. So Thursday's video is, I've hinted at and leaked and mentioned that I'm having a guitar built by Agrajag Guitars. Well, the deposit is paid. The spec is finalised. I've secured my place in the queue. Deposit paid, waiting list. I'm on the waiting list, and I'll tell you all about what I'm having built by the wonderful James at Agrajag Guitars in Thursday's video. And then after Thursday, it's Friday, and you know what happens on a Friday. Excuse me while I just recharge my flagon of ale. Yep. The YouTube copyright thing. I know there's a few YouTubers in the chat at the moment, fellow creators. I don't know if they've noticed that the things are getting a little bit more stringent. It used to be about 1 in every 10 of these solo analysis videos. Jonah Cornish, thank you so much, mate. I'll buy Dougal some treats. You're a gentleman, sir. Thank you. It used to be about 1 in 10 of these solo analysis videos would get a copyright note. That's not the same thing as a copyright strike. A copyright strike is when YouTube properly put you on the naughty step and give you a formal shot across the bows that, do this again, 3 strikes and you're out, and your channel's gone, basically. It's not that. It's just you just get like a notification that you are sharing the revenue from the video, which basically means that you get nothing. The revenue goes to whoever the copyright holder is. Now, we can sit here and, argue the toss about, the fair use clause in copyright law. Oh, Raymondo, you are a gentleman, sir. You're able to buy me a pint. Well, I will enjoy that pint, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity. We can sit here all evening and talk about like the fair use clause and everything, which technically means that under copyright law, I am allowed to use snippets of other people's music as long as I'm adding some tuition content and not passing it off as my own work, as my own composition. But that just gets ridden roughshod over. And I've always taken the view that, well, yeah, no one ever told me life was fair. Just take it on the chin, suck it up, and be a big lad about it, But nowadays it's getting to the point where an increasing number of videos that I'm putting time and effort into making, I'm effectively not getting paid for, because YouTube just hand the copyright, the revenue over to someone else, and technically there's a right of appeal, but it's well, I won't go into that, but technically, it's a kind of it's, you don't really have the ability to do anything about it in a logistical, practical sense. And the weird one is that I've just done a video where I was demonstrating this guitar that you saw me unboxing a couple of weeks ago. This is the Harley Benton Gold Top P90 thing, which will be shortly off to Zoe's place. And as part of the video, I did an improvised 12-bar blues jam. That got snaffled as well, saying that I've used the melody from someone else's music. What utter rot! I improvised a 12-bar blues solo, and so the weird thing is I have got a series coming up on playing blues lead guitar, so I'm going to have to get a little bit creative in how I do that, because if every time I improvise a 12-bar blues jam, it gets snaffled and claimed as copyrights, kind of erroneously and spuriously by someone else, then that's going to be a whole series of videos that take time and effort and resources to make, but don't end up earning me any revenue. So I'm gonna have to think about that. By the way, yes, I put a community post up this week, or the last few days, talking about the reason why I'm knocking I am knocking the Monday solo analysis videos on the head for the reasons I've just described. And did people want a new series of videos on melodic rock lead guitar, or a series of videos on blues lead guitar? And it was a pretty even split. One day I'd look at the poll results, and the blues lead guitar thing would be ahead by a whisker. Next day I'd look, and the melodic rock thing would be ahead by, again, a whisker. So I'm going to alternate it. A couple of people in the replies suggested I do that. So it's going to be a week on melodic rock and a week on blues lead guitar, and back and forth between the two, which should be fun, because there's the potential for some crossover there. Cal B is saying Patreon only solo analyses. Yeah, I am still keeping the monthly Patreon solo lesson thing going, because that's on Patreon, and they don't have the stringent and somewhat overly strict copyright stance that YouTube have. So that's still going to keep on going. I'll have to say, basically, if someone could invent a 27 or 28 hour day, I would have time to do more content. But well, we'll see. I just a little bit of a warning, chaps. I'm shortly heading to my 58th birthday, and I'm thinking more in terms of winding things down at the moment. So I'm still going to be on YouTube. I'm still going to be putting content out, but perhaps it might not be within the next couple of years the same kind of Monday video, Tuesday video, Wednesday video, Thursday video, Friday live stream, Sunday video kind of schedule. It might just go back to maybe 3 videos and a live stream a week. I'm just spitballing this here. I don't know what my plans are entirely yet, but the mortgage is close to being paid off. The finishing line is in sight. The light at the end of the tunnel is getting bigger and brighter with every passing day. So, it's I think at some point I'm going to have to take my foot off the gas a little bit, because these 70 and 80-hour weeks are they're starting to kind of. I mean, I sit in front of a webcam all day and just blether away about guitars. I'm not going, oh, poor me. It's not the same as digging coal out the ground, or kind of shoveling stuff on, but it is a long day, and it is time to start kind of dialing it back a little bit. Anyway, let's have a wee look in the chat and see what I've been missing while I've been blethering away. Let's have a look. Graham Campbell is saying, with the amount of views that my channel gets, Don Henley's welcome to the 2p I'd earn. The Daler 22 is saying, hey, John, you did promise something from Robin Trower ages ago. I know I did, mate. It's just finding the right candidate to do a solo on, because the thing about his solos is that they do go on a little bit. So if you've got any suggestions for, something that's maybe 8 or 16 bars long, that I can get done in the sort of time frame that I need, I need basically to wrap it up in a 15-minute video, and I need to be able to learn the solo, perform it, tab it out, explain it and stuff in a couple of hours, which is usually the time frame that I allow myself to get those videos done. And I just haven't found a Robin Trower solo that I can get done in that time frame, really. So that's where the bump in the road is, I have to say. Let's have a look. Paul Taylor is saying, just watch James Dean Bradfield on that pedal show. I wonder if TPS will be demonetized for him playing his own licks. Quite probably, mate. I did a video years ago now where I interviewed a chap that you often see in the chat here. Maybe he's in already. I might have missed him, but Rexomatic, and his band Big for His Age too. And in that video, I played snippets of the songs that were on his latest album, and because he'd released the music through CD Baby, they just claimed the copyright on the video, and just claim. So yeah, it's highly likely that that pedal show probably got demonetized on that episode if James Dean Bradfield was playing his own music in the video. It's a crazy, crazy world, but then again, you don't need me to tell you that. What you're saying there, Megalock Gelly? The new CEO of Fender, Scottish guitar collector, said 30 million guitars were sold during COVID, and now there's 24 million unwanted guitars. How do they know this? I don't know, mate. Maybe they're keeping an eye on, kind of sales metrics and stuff. It's not a statistic that I believe would be impossible to collate. So Balder 64 saying, what if Muse and Marilyn Manson videos got pulled because they ripped off Gary Glitter? I don't know. I'm not that familiar with. I think I know 2 Muse songs: "Plug-in Baby" and "Hysteria," I'm not seeing the resemblance there between that and "He Who Shall Not Be Mentioned," Mr. Paul Francis Gadd, evil creature. Ravensmead is saying, is AI spotting all of these solos? Quite probably, mate, because the technology is there. Why wouldn't they use it? Peter Nicholson is saying, if you use that logic, absolutely you cannot produce music. Everything's been done before in film, comedy, etc. Yeah, I think the thing with the 12 bar blues thing is, I think that the people who are or the algorithm probably that is making the decision knows nothing of the fact that the 12 bar blues is an accepted form that is in the public domain, and the and that basically, a pentatonic scale is not copyrightable. I remember, gosh, this is going back to the early 90s, so over 30 years ago. So that's why my memory of this is perhaps a little bit vague, that a letter in the letters page of Guitarist magazine. Do you remember when magazines used to have letters pages and people would get a pen and a piece of paper and write a letter and fold it up and put it in an envelope and go to the post office and buy a stamp and put it in the pillar box, and so, it's amazing that these things had, that these publications had letters pages, if that was the rigmarole you used to have to go through from that. Now you just pull your phone out and kind of thumb type an email, don't you? But a letter in Guitarist magazine back in 91 or 92 was asking about the solo analysis that they used to do in that august publication. Phil Hilborn used to do them, and what a player he is. I've seen his band. What a player. Yes, basically the reply from the editorial team came that, guitar solos are basically usually improvised, which means that they are using licks that are known in the sort of copyright industry. I suppose that there's such a thing. They're known as common parlance, things which are out there and everybody uses. And what's that legal test that they use? A reasonable person would say that is just common parlance. But the thing is, nowadays, the reasonable person test doesn't get applied because there is maybe a lack of reasonable people in charge of such things. Peter Hall is saying melodic blues rock, John, referring to the alternating, kind of videos on blues and rock. Yeah, as I say, there's a great opportunity for crossover there. Ravensmead saying you can still play Beethoven and Bach. Yes, you can, because is it 75 years after the death of the composer that the copyright expires? Although I did years ago do a piece of music based upon Jupiter from Holst's Planet Suite. And that got demonetized as well. So I don't know when Gustav Holst died, but I'm pretty sure he died more than 75 years after, before I made that video. So I honestly don't know. The weirdest copyright thing I've ever had was I made a video back in, I think it was early 2022, about how I use Reaper. And I showed the drum plugins that I use, and I did the drum track, and just this prefabricated drum track that's part of one of the presets in the drum plugin, MT Power Drums. It's just one of the presets in that I kind of put in the video. That got the video not only demonetized, but completely ineligible for monetization because of, I was one step below the dreaded copyright strike. And I had to edit the video to take the audio out on that video. Otherwise, it could have had serious implications for my channel. So, a prefabricated drum loop that's in a piece of software that I've paid for and I own, that got put me on the naughty step. Ted talks guitars and life. I got a copyright check for playing a blues shuffle. The robot said I was playing a backing track by some cat. Yeah, this is it. It's these algorithms have no concept of the idea that something that someone else might have had a big hit with they were using something that was already in the public domain. But there you go. That is, as I said at the start of this tirade, no one ever promised me that life was going to be fair. Anyway, shall we change the subject and have a little bit of a look at some of the guitars that, pictures of guitars that you chaps have been sending in. I got to say, a few weeks ago, I sent out a little bit of an SOS saying that, I was running low on stock for these pictures, and boy, did you respond! My cup overfloweth, shall we say? So let's have a look at this week's selection, just randomly, well, not quite randomly chosen, because if you have a guitar that is for sale and you send it to me during the week, I will guarantee that guitar will feature in that Friday's kind of viewers guitar slot. So if you're trying to sell a guitar, ping it to me and it will definitely get included in that week's slot. And there's one of these this week. So we're going to take a look at exactly what I've chosen this week. Where are we? So yes, that one. Here we go. This is a guitar that I've owned, not this particular one. But this belongs to Bill Forwell, and this is his Harley Benton HB35 Plus. I owned one of these. Well, I owned the HB35 and the Plus, and I also owned the Sire H7. And I gotta tell you that I got rid of the H7. But this guitar is out of the two sort of 335 style guitars that I owned. This is the one that I miss. I don't miss the H7 for some reason, but I do miss this one. So I don't know. Maybe I might pull the trigger on another one. I remember it as a beautiful guitar, and even in this picture here, I mean, it's only a veneer, but you can just see that lovely top on there. Absolutely lovely. Anyway, let's crack on. Another one from Bill Forwell, and this looks rather familiar, doesn't it? It's the guitar I held up just a few minutes ago, the Harley Benton SC450 P90 GT. Great guitar, 125 quid these are, and I defy you to have more fun on it with a guitar than you, for 125 quid than you can with that. Beautiful little thing. Cheap and cheerful, but a lot of fun. Then we've got this one from Cal B and the Rocco Cat. This is his first ever guitar, a Stag SES 300 LH SB, then a lot of numbers, but basically a Stag Strat copy. And he's moved on to better things or greater things since then. I believe you are currently sporting PRS SE Custom 24. I think that's what you got these days, isn't it, Cal? But, we always remember our first guitar with some degree of affection, don't we? Then some guitars belonging to Jeff Crouch. Now, Jeff is something of a fan of Steve Rothery, and this is his Les Paul Studio, his Levinson Blade RH4 from 1997, and a Squier Strat SQ series from 1984. Which looks suspiciously like, well, I know it has been modded to resemble Steve Rothery's famous Squier Strat EMG pickups and everything. Yeah, so, I'm hardly one to sit in judgment on anyone being a big fanboy of a particular guitar player because, Gary Moore. I'm still kind of... I'm not going to buy a new one, but I am kind of regularly trawling eBay for one of those Epiphone greenies. We shall see. Then Jeff Crouch's pedal board, resembling something from, we can see the title I've given it, Jeff Crouch NASA pedal board. That would confuse the absolute bejesus out of me. I would not know where to begin with all that sort of stuff. It's just, I did a video recently on my new pedal board, which is basically invisible because it doesn't exist. You know, but yeah, if it floats your boat, mate, then you crack on. That would absolutely terrify me looking down at that. Then this guitar, this belongs to a chap called Ian, and it's for sale. This is a Mac Mull Stinger. Stinger Greeny, Greeny Placid, made in December 2024. Medium oval C-shaped neck, stainless steel, medium frets, rosewood fretboard with a 12-inch radius. Rolled fretboard edges, 4-ply tortoiseshell pickguard. Yeah, gotta love a taut pickguard, haven't you? 2 custom P90s, compensated age saddles, and the whole thing has been professionally set up by the legend that is Mr. Sam Deeks. And Ian is currently offering this guitar for sale. If you know about McMull guitars, you know they come with a hefty price tag. So if you're wanting one of these for essentially what is pretty much I haven't worked out the percentage, but a hefty discount. I think Ian says he's wanting about $1,875 for this, which for a guitar that is going to cost you, I would say, well in excess of $3,000. It's a lot of money. Let's not mince words. It is a lot of money, but if you're in the market for something that costs a lot of money and this floats your boat, then get in touch with me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and I will put you in touch with Ian. And hopefully we can, kind of facilitate a deal. So there you go. There's Ian's Mac Mull. Never played one, but I do hear good things about them. Then this guitar belongs to Len McIver. This is his Mexican Strat. Presumably, this is the 21 fret model, so this will be when they were the standard Strat from pre-2018. Nice matching headstock, and of course it's got the EMG pickups. I wonder who the initials DG stand for. Can we think of a Strat player who famously likes EMG pickups? Oh, I wonder if that's a Mr. Gilmore. But lovely looking guitar, mate. Then yes, the prize for the oddest looking acoustic I've ever seen. This is Malcolm Spillett's guitar, a Skylark, no less. And if you're wondering where the sound hole is, then I'm not sure if you can see my mouse pointer, but the SG horns, okay, where I'm currently hovering my mouse. I don't know if that's coming across on screen. The SG horns, the sound holes are in there. Yes, that's a novel idea, isn't it? I think Malcolm's got this set up for slide at the moment, and that's a conversation starter when you turn up for that at a jam session or something, isn't it? Yeah, lovely looking guitar, exquisitely made. It's not a brand I've ever heard of. If anyone else has got any experience of Skylark guitars, then shout out. Then what else we got? Mr. Chris guitar. Mr. Chris's Harley Benton GS. I'm not sure I know that model, but as you can see, much like Cal B and the Rocco Cat, Mr. Chris is a bit of a southpaw by nature. That's why all of his guitars are the wrong way around. And there's another one of his guitars the wrong way around, the Harley Benton JA Lefty. I suppose it depends whether on... I mean, I like a tortoiseshell pickguard, but not fond of block inlays on Fender-style guitars, and definitely not a fan of Fender offsets. I might have mentioned that once or twice, but if it floats your boat, if it tickles your pickle, then fair enough. And then some guitars of a brand that I have never heard of. These belong to my mate Theme Tunes. These are Takeharu Maru guitars. And yes, the story that goes along with these guitars is that he bought one of these in 1978. Well, it was actually bought for him by his good lady at the time, and he'd been up and down every shop in London's Denmark Street trying out Martins and all of the big name acoustic guitar brands, and this I think it's the one in the middle there, the the Takeharu Maru guitar was the one that just absolutely stopped him in his tracks, and apparently made the whole music store kind of stop and listen. What is that beautiful sound? And it was this, and it cost him in 1978, fair enough, so this is 1978 price, it cost him £78. And it's not a brand that anyone's ever heard of, and he advises each and every one of us that if you see one of these guitars anywhere for sale, Facebook Marketplace, Reverb, eBay, wherever, grab it, because it's a brand that no one's ever heard of, but they are exquisitely built and sound like angels singing in your ears. So there you go, folks. That is this week's little selection of viewers' guitars. I noticed, by the way, that ever since I told you that that I often open my email when there are students in the room, and some of them may be children with their parents sat on the couch behind me, and there'll be emails in there with readers' wives in the subject line, and it can look a little bit dodgy, can't it? And I asked you to just put viewers' guitars in the subject line. I notice a lot of you are now saying viewers' guitars, not readers' wives. Yes, I should have kept my mouth shut, shouldn't I? Anyway, let's have another beer. And let's top that one up, and have a look at the chat, see what we got to talk about. Malcolm Spillet's got a bit of buffering at his end. I'd say I've got a pretty strong signal here, so who knows? As because the internet is, I still remember from my college days, it's all based upon packet switching, isn't it? Which is where, packets of data get bounced around from node to node. And yeah, you'll need one to be a little bit, kind of substandard. And there's your buffering, I'm afraid. What we got in here? Let's have a look. I've missed loads of stuff because I've been blethering for ages. We got Mississippi Blues in. What are you saying there, Balder? The Harley Benton P90 that I sent John sounded really good, even though the P90s were cheaper. The bodywood was is that poor quality, but that wouldn't matter if you kept it stock. Yes, the silver sparkly kind of Liberace Harley Benton guitar video coming up on that soon. I'm probably gonna kind of slant that video more towards the pickups that you put into it, Balder, because they are Iron Gear Alchemist P90s, aren't they? So I can't really do a video of the guitar. This is the Harley Benton Fusion T, with new pickups in. So I'm going to have to kind of make it more of a pickup review. But nothing wrong with that. Peter Collins saw that MacMull on Sam Deeks' channel. Where are we? Let's have a look. A lot of people saying hello to Mississippi Blues. There we go. Balder64 saying the gold top P90 sounded good. I just sent it to John before Joe came back from a month away. Now it's starting. Okay, yeah. So getting rid of the evidence, Balder. Nice one. Rexomatic is saying, greetings, John. We appreciate your videos in these difficult times in the US. I'm having a hard time, mate. Sorry to hear that. And Balder is saying, can we have an Indonesian, Korean, Chinese showcase? Asian babes. Yeah, start putting that in the emails subject lines. Yes, you will now, won't you? Yes, thank you very much for that. I'm going to have to start using a different email account for me lessons. Michael Purcell is saying, are you registered as a limited liability company, John? Did you watch Rick Beato's interview with Music Accountant? I know that is where Americans could still be useful. I'm just a self-employed sole trader, mate. That's how I started off in 1991. And, I've never, because my turnover is in the grand scheme of things, not well. I'm not poor, but I'm not. I'm not in a position where I can start kind of floating myself on the stock market. Mind you, looking at me, I couldn't float myself in a bloody swimming pool. But I'm just a self-employed sole trader because it's simple. It takes me 40 minutes to do a tax return once a year. It's just easier all around. It makes for an easier life, and I don't need to pay accountancy fees and that sort of stuff. John Mack saying no buffering here. Anyway, shall we have a viewer's tale? I think we should, because we've replenished the stock. Oh, what's my phone pinging for? I should have put it on silent. Yes, right. Viewers' tales. Right, okay. Now, I often say, when I'm talking about these viewers' tales, that it doesn't need to be 100% true. Okay? I think this one might be somewhere considerably south of 100% true, but I'll read it out anyway. Okay, this one comes from Terry Day, and he's saying, "Hi, John. You did say these don't have to be 100% true, so I hope I'm not taking liberties. I think you actually are, mate, when I read it out, but we'll read it out anyway. But years ago, there was a charity gig at our local club. There were local bands and a few celebs, one of whom was Eric Clapton." Really? "During rehearsals, there was a mass jam, and I found myself on stage with Eric Clapton. During this jam, Eric suddenly held up his hand and stopped everyone playing. He looked directly at me and said, and I'll never forget what he said, 'Oi, will you watch what you're doing with that broom? That's the second time you bashed my ankle. It's true that I have used a broom. Does that count?'" Yeah, I think that's stretching it a little bit there, Terry. I really do. I think that's, I would say there really does need to be an encounter with said celebrity. You can embellish the encounter. You can gild the lily. You can, for entertainment and comedic purposes, you can certainly do that. But I think, the fact that, let's just say, I think you were just perhaps colouring outside the lines a little bit there, mate. Let's just leave it at that. But thanks for sending it in anyway. And what else have we got here? Okay, yeah, this is from Cal B. And he says, "Hi, John. Back in the early 80s, there was a bar on the west island of Montreal called the Maples Inn. Me and the missus used to frequent it every second weekend, as the bands appearing there were usually first rate. One Saturday night, Levon Helm was appearing there with a country rock band he'd gotten together because the man loved to perform. Who doesn't? I was lucky enough to be sitting about 10 feet away to his left. It was a terrific night, and his group was running through quite a few of the band's classics. Levon Helm was on point and sweating his ass off, and the crowd was really good, pleasing him very much. Towards the end of the night, well into their third set, a brush flew from his hand directly into my table. I locked eyes with his legend. I locked eyes with this legend, and he nodded to me as he was only playing with one hand. I was a little drunk by this time, but I tossed it back to him, and he caught it without skipping a beat. The crowd applauded louder. There, that's about as close as I got to a famous musician." Well, there you go, mate. Yes. I actually... this is a sort of vicarious brush with fame. Back in about 1989, I went to see the Shadows play at Middlesbrough Town Hall. And incidentally, it was probably one of the most disappointing gigs I've ever been to, because you could have just stayed at home and listened to the record, because there was literally no difference. It was just every song, just all the great hits, everything from their original 60s stuff like Apache and FBI, Wonderful Land, Kon-Tiki, all of that sort of stuff, right the way up to their more contemporary stuff like, when they did Cavatina, the theme from The Deer Hunter and Riders in the Sky and all that sort of stuff in the late 70s. Yeah, it was all perfectly performed, but it just lacked atmosphere, I've got to tell you. But the point is that someone, that at the end of the gig, Hank threw his plectrum out into the crowd. Then about 2 years later, I'd started doing guitar lessons, and I got a student come to me for lessons, and he was the possessor of the Hank Marvin pick that had been thrown out into the crowd at Middlesbrough Town Hall. So there you go. Let's have a look, see what else we got. Robert Forsyth is saying he can't access the chat. Nothing I can do about that from this end, mate. That's obviously a YouTube thing. I once met a guitar player called John Robson in an Indian restaurant, and he was a complete "see you next Tuesday." Yes, you're not the first person to say that, mate. Not even the first person today since the wife came home. Anyway, what else have we got? Chip Young is saying, anyone got or had the Fender FMT Les Paul with Seymour Duncan humbuckers? I've reviewed one, mate, and it was a lovely guitar. If I had to have a criticism of it, it was that it should have had a satin finish neck. That's it. But you can, 10 minutes with some wire wool or some emery cloth, and you can make a gloss neck into a satin neck. If you've got a line on one of those, then it's very definitely a guitar that you should seriously think about pulling the trigger on. Austin Barrett is saying, my new pal told me that under his bed is a guitar that Keith Moon gave him years ago. It's Italian and the name starts with an M. Okay, well, fair enough. Balder's saying, no, I'm talking about the gold top I sent you years ago. Yes, I realised that after the fact, mate. It's me. My brain is several steps behind me gob at the moment. I can't imagine why. But it's only going to get worse as the evening goes on. But those Harley Benton gold tops are fantastic. I mean, that one's going to go to Zoe's place. But I am thinking about, I'm already thinking about getting a Harley Benton HB 35 Plus and doing maybe an update video on that. But as I say, I've just paid like a healthy sum, shall we say, a considerable chunk of my beer fund to James at Agrajag for him to build me a guitar. So I'm going to have to kind of wait and see what sort of state the old financial portfolio is in after I get the final bill from that. But it's kind of on my wish list, let's say. Paul Bush, what are you saying there, mate? I was a tour bus driver on a UFO tour. Long story. Moggy threw the speakers into the crowd in Athens Sand, and it went tits up from there onward. Fair enough. Yes. There's a great Glenn Fricker video up at the moment that he did on that heavy metal cruise, where he's talking about, where he's interviewing all the musicians on there, and they're talking about the Spinal Tap moments that they had, the hello Cleveland, and not being able to find their way to the stage and stuff like that. Yeah, I had a couple of big belly laughs at that. So that's well worth checking out. Go and check out Glenn's channel. Show the guy a bit of a little bit of love at the moment. He's got family issues, as I'm sure you probably know, and he's not able to make much YouTube content. So go and click on a playlist or something like that, and kind of keep his kind of place in the YouTube hierarchy, the YouTube algorithm. Colin Falcon is saying that next week's live stream will be close to the 250th live stream. Well, maybe we could turn that into a little bit of a celebration, because I'll let you into a little secret. A week today is my birthday, so it's going to be my birthday live stream. Yes. So it'll be the birthday live stream, the 250th anniversary, or 250th. Is it an anniversary if it's once a week? I don't know, but we'll make something special of it, shall we say? Leave that one with me. Just ideas are kind of forming in my head at the moment. Michael Purcell is saying, I saw in a Bruce Springsteen video recently that there's paper on the steps with the city printed on it. Wise move. Why not? It's I'm just trying to think of. No, I can't tell that story live. No, I'll have to save that one for a Patreon video. Yeah. Anyway, more details to follow on Patreon at some point. Where are we? Let's have a wee look. Craig Stamen saying, you need an Agrajag guitar, John. Mine is my number one guitar. Yes. Well, it's the deposit is paid, and I'm on the waiting list. And it's some people might be surprised at some of the specs that I've outlined for it. You won't be surprised that it's 22 frets, stainless steel, jumbo frets. You probably won't be surprised that it's Telecaster shaped, but there's one or two things that might have people kind of scratching their head and thinking, why has he chosen that? Well, because I have. Anyway, but all will be revealed on Thursday. So let's have a look. What else we got? In the dying moments of the stream, Robert Nova is saying, hey mate, try out the Dirty Harry Telecaster pickups from Rio Grande pickups. They are P90s that look like regular Telecaster ones. Now there's a thought. But anyway, where are we? 58 minutes and plus change into the live stream. And not to put too fine a point on it, chaps, what goes in does at some point need to come out. So I'm going to wrap it up there for today. And don't forget to head off over to Steve Cassidy's channel, see if he's got a video up there. He's been beavering away like a man possessed, busy as a fiddler's elbow, getting a video out for us at 6 p.m. And I don't even know what it's going to be about yet, but I'm sure it'll be fantastic. That's it for this week, folks. Thanks for turning up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to a fat, bald northern bloke talk absolute bollocks for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.